Chapter 16, Section 1. What is public opinion? Considering the following scenario, your friend comes to you during the day at school and tells you that he likes a certain girl and wants to ask her out on a date. He wants to know what you think he should do. You tell your friend that, in your opinion, the best idea is to walk up to her and casually ask her to go to the movie with him. Your friend takes your advice, he asks her out, she accepts, and they make plans. Because he valued your opinion, your friend took your advice. In other words, your opinion influenced your friend's actions. Just as your friends, family, and teachers want to know your opinion about certain things, public officials want to know what you and the rest of the public think about important local and national issues. The collective opinion of a large numbers of people is called public opinion. Role of public opinion. In a democracy, government officials respect public opinion as the voice of the majority of the people. Thus, by making their opinions heard on specific issues, people can influence the government policies that affect them. Considering the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. For many years, black South Africans were suppressed by apartheid, a government system of racial segregation and restricted where they could live, work, and that denied them the right to vote. After years of often violent demonstrations against the government and strong actions by other nations, the leaders of South Africa began to allow multi-racial elections in 1994. Nelson Mandela, black nationalist leader of the African National Congressional Party, was elected president. The pressure of international public opinion had helped to force an end to the apartheid. As a citizen in your own community, you might agree or disagree with certain laws. Have officials in your community ever passed laws with which you had strong feelings? If so, do you express your opinion? In some communities, teens have expressed their opinions about laws by speaking or before writing letters to their city councils. If public opinion about an issue is strong enough, it may cause the law to be changed. Forms of public opinion. How can government officials, researchers, and others concerned with public opinion tell what people's views are? One way is by examining people's participation in the political process. One obvious way people participate in politics is by voting. Citizens who are 18 or over, have not been convicted of a felony, and have taken the time to register as an eligible voter, are eligible to vote. Unfortunately, only about half of eligible voters take the time to vote in presidential elections, and other elections turnouts are even lower. People participate in the political process in ways other than voting, however. No matter what your age, and even if you are not a citizen, you can speak out or write about political issues. Demonstrate, sign a petition, write a letter to a public official, or join an interest group that has specific political goals. Some people donate money or time to political candidates and interest groups. Through all these forms of political participation, people make their views known. Influences on public opinion. You now know how people express their political opinions, but what helps form those opinions in the first place? Ideology, family, school, and the media all influence how people form their opinions. Ideology. One factor affecting people's viewpoints on a certain issue is their ideology, or basic set of political beliefs. By conducting interviews, political scientists have discovered that many people do maintain a set of basic beliefs about freedom, opportunity, and equality, and that this ideology influences their political ideas about both issues and candidates. You have probably heard relatives or friends speak of themselves as liberal, conservative, or moderate. These are different types of ideology. In general, a person with conservative ideology believes that in order to promote the public good, government should be less involved in economic issues, while someone with a liberal ideology believes that government should actively protect and advance the general welfare of citizens. A moderate usually holds some liberal and some conservative beliefs. Political socialization. Some of people's earliest influences, such as family and school, affect how they form their opinions. In fact, family beliefs, ideas learned in school, job experiences, and influences from income, education, age, gender, race, and geographic region all combine to produce a person's political socialization. This process helps determine how someone's political opinions will develop over his or her lifetime. The political socialization process starts very early. Research by political scientists have shown that people develop some basic political preferences as children. Many children can name some countries that they like and do not like by the age of 6. Studies have shown that children as young as 4th grade frequently have political party preferences. In many cases, these choices reflect the political beliefs of the children's parents or guardians. School is also a significant part of the socialization process. In school, you learn about your government, how it was founded, and why it is a good system. You also learn to say the Pledge of Allegiance, in which you promise loyalty to your country. Other influences, such as those arising from regional background and income, also affect how people form their opinions. For example, people with low incomes are often more likely than those with high incomes to back government programs that provide health care, stimulate job growth, or redistribute income. Though regional opinion differences have lessened over the years, Southerners do tend to be more conservative on moral and social issues than people in other regions of the country. Recent research suggests that the key period in forming political beliefs is during the late teens and early 20s. At this time, people have new experiences, meet new people, and live more independently off their parents. People are open to new influences during that period and therefore are more likely to be affected by major political events, such as wars or economic crisis, and by popular ideas of the day. Media. Another major factor influencing public opinion is the media. Consider your daily activities. Do you spend time watching television or listening to the radio? If so, you may find that the media, magazines, newspapers, television, radio, and books influence your opinion. The media provides people with much of the knowledge they use to form their opinions. Media's influence over public opinion has grown over the years in the development of the radio and television. Before television became popular, researchers in the 1930s and 1940s studied politicians' ability to affect people's opinions through radio speeches. Radio was used often by the great political speakers of the age, such as President Franklin Roosevelt and British Prime Minister Winston Churchill. Adolf Hitler, dictator of Germany from 1933 to 1945, also used radio to rally support for his policies. Through radio, politicians have found a way to influence the way people thought about the issues. With the rise of television, media's ability to affect public opinion has become even greater. One way television affects public opinion is by giving priority to certain issues. Media do not affect what people think, it has been said, but rather what they think about. In fact, some studies have shown that people tend to rank an issue as more important if it has received a high degree on the evening news. In one study conducted in New Haven, Connecticut, for example, researchers had different groups of people watch television news broadcasts for a week. The broadcasts were the same as the actual national news shown at each night, but with a few changes. One group of viewers saw a large number of stories on problems with U.S. defense capabilities, and a second saw a large number of stories about defense, inflation, and pollution. A third saw many stories about arms control, civil rights, and unemployment, and a fourth about unemployment only. Stories which were taken from earlier newscasts were inserted into the newscast without the viewer's knowledge. The researchers found that viewers who saw more stories on the targeted problems were more likely than the other groups to rate these problems as major national issues. As you can see from this study, the media plays a considerable role in the influence of people's opinions. You will learn more about the media, as well as how they affect the public good in Section 3, the nature of public opinion. There are two key factors that influence the nature of public opinion. These are how strongly people feel about an issue with which side of the issue people identify. Strength of opinion. How strongly people feel about an issue is one factor that may determine the nature of public opinion. When answering a question such as, "Are you for or against the death penalty?" people generally would say either "I support it" or "I oppose it." The answer to such a question, however, would not reveal the strength of the opinion held. Because some issues matter a great deal more to people than to others, determining the strength of people's opinions is important to understanding the nature of public opinion. Strength of an opinion can influence someone's vote, as well as how politically active the person will be regarding an issue. Face of the issue. Which side of the issue a person identifies with is also an important factor when measuring public opinion. Just about every public policy that a government might adopt has attractive and unattractive qualities. Environmental policies can preserve nature, for example, but by forcing factories to spend money on pollution control devices, they can also make products more expensive. Not surprisingly, most people want both a clean environment and less expensive products. Nonetheless, people can often take a stand on a particular side of an issue. Someone who hears about an environmental policy during a broadcast on air pollution would be more likely to support the legislation than someone who hears about it in connection with rising prices of consumer goods. Politicians, interest groups, and political parties frequently try to encourage people to see the face of an issue most favorable to their cause.